Isak versus Ekitike. Who is the better player and where are they gonna play the next season? These are the two players we're gonna talk about today, so let's dig in. Trying to control and take my lane. Bomber plane. Come watch out for the bomber plane. Bomber plane. Oh, I hear them scream my name when I bring it to my A game. Bomber plane. Let's start off with Isak. He is an experienced player. He is 25 years of age. He's going to be 26 in the upcoming season. He has already proven himself in places like Bundesliga with Dortmund, in Spain, La Liga, together with Real Sociedad, where he won Copa del Rey back when he was 22 years of age. Then he played for Newcastle, and he is now worth 120 million pounds. Newcastle, they bought him for around 63 million plus add-ons. If we take a look at Isak's career stats, we can see in Dortmund he were really young, so he didn't get much playtime. That's why he only scored one goal. In Real Sociedad, he played around 132 games with 44 goals and 8 assists. In Newcastle, he has now got 109 games with 62 goals and 11 assists, which is really high numbers, and that's why his price is so high right now. Hugo Ekitike, the Frenchman, just turned 23 years of age, which means he's going to be 23 in the upcoming seasons as well. He has proven himself in League 1 with Reims and PSG, and now in the Bundesliga, where he ended up in 3rd place with Frankfurt. He got 28 appearances in Reims with 11 goals, in PSG 33 with only 4 goals, and it could also mean that he didn't get too much playtime because he was still young. In Frankfurt he got 64 appearances with 26 goals, which is really good for this young star. The reason why we're talking about Isak and Ekitike is because there is floating a lot of rumors around lately that Newcastle wants to buy Ekitike, Liverpool wants to buy Isak, and if they do not want to sell Isak, they will just go and buy Ekitike instead. And rumors also says that these two players are not satisfied where they are. This is not something they have said. They would never go out in public and say this, so it's just rumors, and I'm pretty sure it's not true. But the dream scenario for Newcastle is to keep Isak and get Ekitike on the team as well. The dream scenario for Liverpool is just to get a striker. Either Isak, who is already fit, he has proven himself in one of the 3 of the biggest leagues in the world, and we got Ekitike in the picture as well. But he is a little bit younger and a little less experienced. So in this case, it's a higher risk to buy Ekitike because we don't know if he can adapt in the Premier League. And we don't know how he's gonna develop over time. Isak has already proven himself in the Premier League. We know he can put up with the big numbers. He can also still develop, he is still young. So this is why the prices are so different between these two guys. But Ekitike is worth right now 74 million pounds. Sometimes when I talk about two players, I leave out some statistics because I find them not important to talk about. In this case, two strikers that are pretty much similar. I don't think it's too important to talk about something like ball possession, pass accuracy, passes in general. It doesn't define the player. It's not saying if he's doing the wrong or the right thing. So in this case, I would instead try to compare these two when they were playing at the same age. As you can see, I have made some statistics from where they were both 22 years of age. In this case, Hugo Ekitike's current season with Frankfurt and Alexander Isak's season with Real Sociedad back when he were 22 years of age. Isak got a little less games, but he had more playtime back then. He ended up scoring 10 goals, having 3 assists. He puts in way more tackles in the game than Hugo Ekitike does. he had a little less playtime and he ended up scoring 22 goals with 12 assists. And this is really high numbers when we are trying to compare two strikers at the same age. As you can see, I have made a career statistics from strikers around the world at the maximum age of 26. And I put in Alexander Isak, Hugo Ekitike, Osimhen, Darwin Núñez, Haaland, Alvarez and João Pedro. And this is just to compare some of the statistics that I find really important when we're talking about strikers, as in goal assist per game. This is their main job, so this has to be high and it has to be looked at. I know Erling Haaland is a little bit difficult to compare because he's a beast overall. There is no one in the world that gets even close to his goal assist in the game. But we can take a look at Alexander Isak, who has played 363 games, having 172 goals with 75 assists, which puts him in the category of 0.65 goal assist per game. He does dribbles 1.30 each games. Hugo Ekitike has played almost less than a half, 151 games, having scored 50 goals with 25 assists, which puts him in the category of 0.50 games assist per games. He puts up a little less dribbles per games, but having more tackles. We gotta have in mind that Ekitike only played half of the games. He is the youngest on this scoreboard, but I think it's interesting to look at other strikers when we're trying to compare one. And we can see someone like Darwin Núñez, who gets a lot of critics by not scoring his goals. He still has higher numbers when it comes to goal assist per game. A player like Alvarez, who's still young, played only 292 games, having 121 goals with 81 assists, puts him in the category of 0.70 goals per game. This is still high numbers, and he has proven himself in the Premier League as well. But in this video, I will only be talking about Isak and Ekitike, since these are the two that are in transfer rumors at the moment. But I still think we have to look at other players to trying to compare their stats. Let's take a look at the goal conversion rate, Isak versus Ekitike in the last 4 seasons. And just to clarify, the goal conversion rate is all the shots they have on and off target that gets into a goal. So in this case, the season 21-22, we can see Isak leading with 19.70% and Ekitike had 17.6%. In the season 22-23, Isak again 17.6%, where Ekitike had 5.1%. And in 23-24, we can see Isak leading once again with 32.5% and Isak with only 8.70%. In the current season, Ekitike got 23.7%, while Isak were on fire with 36%. But we also have to have in mind that the seasons 22, 23, 23, 24, Ekitike played for PSG and he was mostly substituted. So he didn't get too much playtime in this period, and this has to be a reason why it is so low. Also, we have to have in mind he was way younger back then compared to Isak. Isak is 2.5 years older than Ekitike, so we also got to have that in mind when we look at these statistics. But I really think they are important to look at when we are talking about getting a new striker and what we can expect of them. And I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself to just try and put in Darwin Núñez statistics on goal conversion in his last 4 seasons. And if we look at his season 21-22, where he played in Benfica, he had an extraordinary season with almost 30% goal conversion rate. Then he switched to Liverpool in the Premier League, and we can see how it slightly began to drop down, but he still puts in actually quite decent numbers, even though we have seen he misses a lot of his chances. Here is an overall picture of Ekitike versus Isak. The red one is Isak, the blue one is Ekitike. It shows assist, non-penalty goals, clearances, blocks, touches, progressive passes, and so on. This is just to give a picture of where these two are between each other. Even though they are two completely striker, they look a little bit similar. But Having in mind, Ekitike is still young, he covers up most of these areas that actually matters. Which brings us to the last piece of the puzzle. I have made an old school pro and con list, Isak versus Ekitike. Let's start off with the price. Isak is worth 120 million pounds, whereas Ekitike is around 74 million pounds. Risk, we know Isak already putting up the numbers, which puts him in a low risk. Ekitike therefore is a medium / high risk since he's still young. We don't know how he's gonna adapt in another league. Height is almost the same. Isak 1.92 meters. Ekitike is 1.89 meters. Age, Isak is 25 years of age. Ekitike is 23. Pace, what has been measured already is that Isak has been measured to 35.2 kilometers per hour at his fastest point. Ekitike is 33.4 kilometers per hour, so a little less. Quality, again, Isak has already shown the big numbers for us in the Premier League, so he is at high quality, whereas Ekitike is medium / high. Goal assist convert rate. Isak putting up the numbers, which put him in a high quality, high goal assist. Ekitike is at standard, since he has not yet putting up the big numbers compared to his games played. But again, he is young, and which brings us to the last piece, develop rate. Isak is soon 26, which means he's not gonna develop that much anymore. So I would put him in the medium develop rate, and Ekitike is very young, which puts him in a high develop rate. Let me know who you think is the better player, and most of all, where are they gonna play in the next season? There is many reasons to follow up on the transfer market these days, as things could go fast between these two. You can also follow my channel and get the news from the biggest transfer in football of history. You can also check out my YouTube shorts where I give you the real life story behind players as animation. Thank you guys for watching. Vi ses.